Excellencies, ambassadors, and representatives of diplomatic missions accredited to Luxembourg, Excellencies, Honorary Consuls, Mr. Eric Karamaga, who is the chair of the Rwandan community in Luxembourg, is there. Say hi to her. And Madame Pulcherini Nawase, who is the chair of the Rwandan community in Belgium. And I'm here also with my wife, Virginie Ngarambe. The first consul in the embassy, Mr. Faustin Moussare. And many other members of our communication, including Shwet Ngamikazi, taking pictures here. Fellow compatriots, distinguished guests, friends of Rwanda, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me thank Ms. Luisella Moreschi, our Honorary Consul to Luxembourg, for organizing this reception to introduce me to the diplomatic community here in Luxembourg, and for the tremendous work she has been doing for Rwanda and our people over the past years through different projects. And I thank you all for being here this evening, wishing you a happy and a prosperous new year. I think we are allowed to say it until midnight today. I'm honored and delighted to be here with you this evening for my introduction as a new ambassador of Rwanda to the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg with residence in Brussels. My family and I arrived in Brussels on 31st of December 2015, and I presented my credentials as Luisella said, to His Royal Highness Grand Duke Henry on 19th of October 2016. It is a privilege for me to represent my country to Luxembourg, which is a small, which is a small, landlocked and peaceful country, a service and knowledge-based economy with a vibrant private sector, an investment-friendly climate, and one of the highest GDP per capita in the world. And this is exactly what Rwanda wants to be. And this is where Rwanda wants to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Rwanda is known as the country of 1,000 hills because of her hilly and green landscape in the heart of Africa. But it is also a country of 1,000 opportunities, as it is a resilient, forward-looking country with a vision to elevate to a middle-income service and knowledge-based economy by the year 2020. In 1994, the genocide against the Tutsi reduced the country to ashes. 1 million killed in just 100 days, from a population of 7 million at that time. More than 2 million refugees, an economy and infrastructures in shambles. But in the past 22 years, Rwanda has done more than reconstruction and peace building. Under the leadership of President Paul Kagame, Rwanda has become a reference point for security and political stability, unity and reconciliation, economic transformation, investors-friendly climate, tourism and protection of the environment, women empowerment, good governance, and zero tolerance for corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, the blueprint for the Rwandan economy is the Vision 2020, what you call Vision 2020, adopted in the year 2000. The vision sets the objective of a rapid economic growth to uplift the country to a middle-income status. The main target for the Vision 2020 was a GDP per capita of $1,240 US. So we are very far from Luxembourg, $50,000, I think. But we came from a GDP per capita in 2000 that was at 206. For the last decade, Rwanda enjoyed an annual economic growth of 8% in average, and in 2015, our GDP per capita had increased to $743 US. In the meantime, 1 million Rwandans were lifted out of poverty. From the Vision 2020, which we will achieve now in three years, Rwanda will this year prepare for the next step, which is the Vision 2050, to ensure high standards of living of all Rwandans. From the objective of the middle-income country of the Vision 2020, so which was a GDP of $1,240 US, Vision 2050 will set new objectives including that of an upper middle income status by 2035, which is a GDP per capita of 4,035 US dollars, and a high income country by 2050, which is a GDP per capita of 12,474 US dollars. So this is our objective for the next how much, 33 years. But we are preparing that Vision 2050, and this will require an accelerated economic growth of 10%. We have ambition to achieve that, and additional efforts to curb the trade deficit. We still have a trade deficit, and then we ambition to curb it by promoting what we call Made in Rwanda. So we import too many goods that we could produce in home in the capital, in the country. Rwanda was ranked as the second easiest place to do business in Africa by the World Doing Business 2017, and we are also ranked as the third most competitive economy on the continent by the Global Competitiveness Report of the World Economic Forum. This is due to significant business reforms put in place over the past decade, making Rwanda an investor-friendly country. Those reforms include an area of fiscal and non-fiscal incentives for those who are ready to invest in the key priority sectors, which are energy, ICT, agriculture, manufacturing, real estate, financial services, and mining. For instance, in Rwanda, you can open a company in just 6 hours at a one-stop center at the Rwanda Development Board, RDB. Our corporate income tax is 30%, but we have special rates for investors. We have a zero corporate income tax for companies planning to relocate headquarters to Rwanda, a 15% preferential corporate income tax for the strategic sectors mentioned above, as well as a 7-year corporate income tax holiday for large projects in those strategic sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, the economic success of Rwanda was largely enabled by an efficient use of taxpayers' and donors' money, as well as a resolute fight against corruption. The 2016 Corruption Perception Index of the Transparency International ranks Rwanda as the first least corrupt country in East African community and the third in Africa. Inclusive governance was also a key to this success, but we still have a long way to go. Following 3 decades of ethnic and regional discrimination, which led to the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, the new leadership of Rwanda decided to promote unity and reconciliation while empowering women and the youth. Today, Rwanda is the first country in the world with the highest rate of women in parliament, with more than 63%, which also includes seats reserved for the youth and the disabled. Significant reforms were also put in place to empower women, including a constitutional 30% of position in decision-making organs, as well as succession rights, because before 94, women didn't have succession right to inherit for their parents, because the logic at that time was that they will at some point get married, so they will be dependent from their husband. And we also put in place measures to fight against gender-based violence, the GBV, which was also a scourge in Rwanda. Ladies and gentlemen, Rwanda has become a preferred touristic destination over the past years. You can visit our beautiful Kivu Lake and our main national parks in just 1 week. We are a small country. You can visit everything in 1 week. Those national parks are the Akagera National Park, where you can visit our lions, elephants, and giraffes in their wildlife. We have the Volcanoes National Park with its protected mountain gorillas, the only in the world. And you have the Nyungwe National Park, one of the world's most beautiful and pristine mountain rainforests, which is believed to be one of Africa's oldest forests. Tourism sector has also attracted foreign direct investment, with major international hotel brands setting shop in the country. Rwanda is carving out its niche as a regional and international conferences hub with its new world-class Kigali Convention Center, owing to several factors. Those factors include straightforward immigration procedures, online visa applications. In Rwanda, you can apply the visa online and then you get it in 3 days. Visa at gate policy for all Africans. All citizens of African countries will get their visa on arrival. Then one tourist visa policy for East African community. All the 3 countries of the East African community, Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda, have the system of one East African tourist visa, so that if you want to visit Kenya, you can also use the same visa to go to Rwanda. And we had also the rapid growth of our national carrier, the Rwanda, which is increasing its destinations, including now recently it will fly to New York. There will be a direct flight of Rwanda from Kigali to New York. And we have also other airlines traveling to Kigali, which are including the SN Brussels and KLM. Ladies and gentlemen, Rwanda's economy depends heavily on natural resources, land, forests, waters, and wildlife, as they provide the basis for farming, fishing, household energy, and tourism. At the same time, these resources are under increasing pressure from a growing population. We are, I think, the second country in Africa which is highly densely populated, after Comoros, I think. The pressure comes from unsustainable use of land, soil erosion, deforestation, and climate change. In that regard, the government introduced several initiatives to protect the planet, including combating illegal forestry, restoring vital wetlands, protecting the habitat of endangered gorillas, becoming one of the first countries in the world to ban the use of plastic bags. Today's Kigali city, our capital, is one of the cleanest cities in Africa. And we believe that climate change is real. Nobody should deny it. In October 2016, Rwanda hosted the Montreal Protocol meeting that passed the Kigali Amendment, which could cut to up to 0.5 degrees Celsius from global warming by the end of this century. As president of the 28th meeting of the state parties, Rwanda was instrumental in bringing together the 197 countries to sign what is held as the single largest contribution the world has made towards keeping the global temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius. For all of this, President Paul Kagame received in December last year the UN Champion of the Earth Award for Policy Leadership, specifically, and I quote, for outstanding leadership in fighting climate change and in national environment action, end of quote. Ladies and gentlemen, for an economy to thrive, national and regional security is critical. In that regard, Rwanda is one of the safest countries in Africa. We were ranked as the safest place to walk at night in Africa and the 5th safest country in the world by Gallup Global Report 2015. We promote peace and security not only at home but also abroad. Since 2004, the country contributes peacekeepers to UN and AU missions, mainly Sudan, Darfur, South Sudan, Central African Republic, and Haiti. And we are ranked today as the world's 5th troop and police contributing country at the UN, the 2nd African, with more than 6,000 troops. But Rwanda does more than contributing troops. Based on her experience and the principle of responsibility to protect, R2P, Rwanda believes in robust peacekeeping. It's not enough to contribute troops, but the troops needs to serve to something. We believe in robust peacekeeping to save civilians in armed conflict. In May 2015, the government of Rwanda organized in Kigali an international conference on troops and financial contributing countries, during which the Kigali principles on protection of civilians were adopted. Those were 18 principles for peacekeepers with a shared commitment to the effective protection of civilians during armed conflict. It's worth noting that Luxembourg and other countries here represented have been supporting and partnering with Rwanda on this objective. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've been a little bit long UN-style speeches. I would wish to once again thank you for your presence this evening, and take this opportunity to invite all of you to the country of 1,000 hills. I just presented to you, and our Honorary Consul, Luisella Moreschi, and I are ready to facilitate you, and with this, I wish you to enjoy the evening. Thank you.